Okay, welcome everybody. This is Dumb Old Dad bringing you another video. And today I thought I would talk to you about a website that I've been going to learn how to cook. And I've invited Chef Ramses Bravo to join us today to talk about his online tutorials and training on how to cook. So, welcome, Chef Bravo.
Oh, thank you, Clint. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
So, what I thought I would do is just I've got a few questions that I thought I would ask you. I don't know any of the answers yet, so I'm going to be learning just along with everybody else. And so I'll just go down through these questions. If there's anything, if you want to go into detail about anything, just take your time.
Okay.
And then if we get to the end and there's something that I haven't brought up yet that you want to bring up, that's great. Just talk about whatever you want to.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
Go for it.
so let me just start through my little items here to ask you about. So, I'm sure you have a job and you're working somewhere as a chef,
Yes.
but I don't even know where you work or what you do. You want to kind of explain that a little bit?
Yeah. I am a classically trained chef. I, grew up wanting to be a chef because I grew up basically in my grandmother's kitchen. So I always knew I was going to be a chef. Right out of high school, I went to culinary school and did that whole thing. Then I did a chef's training program. So I come from the butter, cheese, veal, lobster world. And then about 12 and a half years ago, I found myself transitioning to a plant based facility called True North Health, which is in Santa Rosa, California. And so I've been the chef there for 12 and a half years. I never meant to be there that long. When I took the job, I was simply trying to further my education as a chef. For regular chefs, you don't get a lot of how to do vegan meals, plant-based meals kind of training. Uh, so I took the job thinking, oh, I can do this for 6 months, get a few tricks under my belt, and then just move on. Uh, so I'm about 12 years past due there.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, what is the restaurant name again?
It's not a restaurant. It's called True North Health Center. We're essentially a plant based hotel, so to
Okay.
speak. And along the hotel, aside from the hotel aspect of it, we have in house doctors who check people on a daily basis. Most of our clients come in because they have some sort of uh, issue that they want to take care of: hypertension, diabetes, high cholesterol, you name it. And so we take care of a lot of people who need to get healthier, and so that's what we do. So people
So,
come in.
do they come in for like a week or two, or for a month, or how is
I
it?
would say the average is about 2 weeks, but we've had people for a couple of years. So uh, we don't get a lot of those, but we've had 3 or 4 people who are long term patients and they love it there, and so we house them essentially. Um,
So the next question I had was, when did you go plant based? It sounds like it was 12 years ago then.
12 and a half years ago, yeah. I started cooking that way. I would say myself, probably about 6 years ago. Uh, like I said, coming from regular chef's world, it took me some time to just fully embrace the whole thing. I had to go through my own uh, sort of tribulations to finally embrace the whole thing.
So are you plant based yourself, or do you eat other than that?
I'm mostly plant based. I tell people that I'm human, like everybody else. So every now and then I slip, but I would say I'm at least 90%, if not probably more like 95.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I've actually talked to quite a few people, and when they tell me they're plant based, I'm like, oh, well, are you like all in? Or they're like, well, I'm about, 90, 95%. I'm like, okay, no, that's cool. No, that's fine.
Yeah. Uh, I probably, if I wasn't a regular chef, if I'd been like an accountant or a painter or something else, I'd probably be, 100%. But one of my strengths is drawing from all the previous ideas that I come from, and a lot of my inspiration comes from regular food. So as a chef, I'm always, keeping up with, what's the new restaurant that just opened, or what's the new food trend, and then
Sure.
I take those ideas and I figure out how to, bring them over to the plant-based side.
Okay.
So
So the people that watch my channel, they know that I have been fighting some health issues, and that is one of the reasons that I went to a plant-based diet is to get healthier
yeah,
and to boost my immune system. And so one of the things that I decided to do was to go no salt, no sugar, and no oil. And so when I saw your program that is right down that, right exactly down that
exactly
aisle
that.
for
Yeah.
me, no salt, no sugar, no oil, I thought I would ask you, so why did you decide to go that extreme? Because in a lot of cases it's very extreme. No salt is very hard in cooking.
Yeah.
No oil is very hard in cooking, and sugar is in just about everything.
Yeah.
So I feel like I can't eat anything. That's why your program is just so great.
Oh, thank you. Um, but it wasn't my decision. When I took the job, those were the parameters.
Oh,
It's sort of a long story, but when I was interviewing for the job, my boss sort of fed it to me piece by piece. He didn't just sort of drop the bomb on me all at once. He was like, "Oh, we're plant-based facility, slash vegan facility, but we don't do any sugar." And then next time I met with him, I was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, we also don't do any oil." And then the next time I met him, it was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, we also don't do any salt." So
and you're probably going, well, that's
yeah,
everything.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So I've always thought that had he just told me everything all at once, I would have just said, "Yeah, thank you, no, thank you." So
Interesting.
yeah, so those are the parameters that were established before I got there. And like I said, we treat a lot of people with good, clean food as a way for them to detox, uh, stop taking a whole bunch of 6, 7, 8, 10 medications that they want to wean themselves off of. Get people's blood sugar levels to a normal levels, as well as their blood pressure and all of that. So if you ever want to come down to True North, we'll take good care of you.
Well, about a year ago is when I went plant-based, and I had had blood tests before and went into the doctor, and he was, telling me that I need to get my cholesterol down. And when I had this kind of a scary situation happen to me and I decided to go plant based only, I went back to that doctor only like a month or month and a half later, and my cholesterol was all in normal levels. My blood pressure was normal. Everything was in normal levels.
Yeah.
And my doctor was so shocked. And he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, I'm only eating plants. And so it was radical for him. I live in Idaho where it's mostly dairy and cows and meat and everything. And so it's just kind of I guess there's a lot of people around here that do know about it, but it's not as well known as I guess would be in California.
Right.
So it has done great things for my health for sure.
Yeah, it's a common sort of story that we hear from people when they come in, with certain blood work, and then they leave, and then they go back to their regular doctor at home, and then the doctor usually is like, "Whoa, what did you do? What is going on?" kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's not a very well known as it should be a
Yeah,
fact
it
that
should be.
when you go plant based, your health just improves so much.
Yeah, I'm all in there. So let's see, what next question do I have here? So how did you come up with the online tutorials, the online class to teach people how to cook?
Yeah. So I've written a couple books, couple of cookbooks that follow that same. We call it the SOS free diet, salt, oil, and sugar free.
Oh, SOS.
SOS. Um, excuse me. And then being that we live in this day and age, technology sort of everywhere. So I thought that was sort of a natural progression, sort of how things are done nowadays. So many things, not just cooking, but many things are done online, especially now through the chaotic times we're living in right now. Online, web conference things. It's such a
Happening all the
popular thing.
time.
So I thought, my idea was, I do a lot of good things for people that come here, but I'd like to reach out people everywhere, in Spain, Australia, Germany, Japan. But I can't travel that much. But I can certainly do some online thing, and then wherever they are, they can sort of log in and watch all the videos and tutorials that I can come up with them for them. And so that's how the idea sort of began.
So I'm going to try and move us over to look at his website here. Let me see if I can get that going.
Okay.
There we go. So this is a, let me just place this on the screen and I'll. The website is really great. I've been using it and I've been learning, and even from the basics, you start with even how to hold the knife and how to cut things, which I've never been taught before.
That's actually very, very important. How to hold a knife properly is very important.
Yeah. So the other thing that I think I showed in my previous video was how to steam vegetables. In fact, I used your technique again today. I had broccoli and I was going to use a steamer, or I was going to put it into a one of those crock pots or pressure cookers. And
Right.
I'm like, I'm just going to put a little water in the bottom and then heat it up so that it starts to steam it. And the broccoli just turned out great.
Oh yeah.
So the things that you're
Very quick.
teaching are just awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Very quick process.
So I have loved that website. And so that's what he has created, this website where people can learn how to cook. And you don't have to use oil, you don't have to use salt, and still get flavor. You still get the vegetables come out just perfectly. And so I've been using a lot of his stuff that he's been. Do you want to talk a little bit more about the website?
Yeah, yeah. So for people watching, it's bravopb.com. That's the website. And so the program, the first program that's on there, it's called Simple Foundations to Plant-Based Cooking. So the first 5 lessons are basically explaining the why plant-based works, and how it can still be very flavorful even though there is no oil, salt, and sugar. And then the next 7 lessons are all recipes. So you get to the soups, salads, dressings, vegetable dishes, bean dishes, sauces, and desserts. So there's a wide variety of items for people to choose. But again, the first 5 lessons are, the mental process of how, I'm going to make this recipe and it's going to taste really good, even though, this is how you hold your knife properly, type of thing, so that if you're right-handed, your left hand is perfectly safe. So
Yeah, I have really
yeah,
enjoyed it. I
it's
had
a
my
good
mom.
program. And then I am scheduled to, or was scheduled this week to film the second one, but unfortunately, with all the COVID-19, the stuff that's going on, we had to postpone that. But there will be a second course, which will be like advanced techniques. And then after that, there will be a third course, which will be like international cuisine type of thing. So there will be like different parts of the world, and we'll show different plant-based SOS-free meals from Persian food and Mexican, Italian, Thai food, Indian food, and others as well. So that's the plan for the website. So far, it's been very well received. The only complaint that I get from it is that it's the course is so cheap, and it's a one-time $20 payment for lifetime access, and that's actually the the pushback I've gotten from people is, oh, it's too cheap. You should charge more. But my intent is to promote a plant-based lifestyle for as many people worldwide as I possibly can. And so that's why I priced it at a point where it's affordable for everybody. If I charge what the course is actually worth, then that would knock out so many people out of the equation. And for me, the goal is to promote plant-based diets for as many people as possible. So uh, that's that's kind of where I'm at with that. And then again, there will be a second and third course. If you go to the website right now, you can sign up for the first course. And there's also a free recipe database on there, which has a wide variety of items. Again, soups, salads, dressings, entree type items, desserts, breakfast sort of things. And that's accessible for everybody. And it's all SOS free, and everybody can just access the recipe, write it down, copy it, print it, whatever you want. And it's all there. You
That
can also sign up for my, we call it the starter pack, for which you get some very helpful tools. If you sign up for my newsletter, what you end up with is a few freebies, some recipes that are nowhere, neither on the database nor on my books, and you also get some shopping list, which will show you like all the ingredients you could possibly use for a plant-based diet, and you can print them out. And what I suggest to people is to laminate them, so you can have those laminated, put them on the refrigerator, and then with a dry erase pen, you can take your list, go through all the things that you need, go shopping, come back, and then you just erase it back on the fridge. And then next time you go shopping, you go through your list again. So it's this ready to go shopping list right there. Or you can have it on your phone as well. I just like the idea of being able to check things off uh, for that. So if you sign up for my newsletter, you get your free starter pack that way. And or you can as well sign up for the course. And again, it's a one-time payment for lifetime access. You go at your own pace, and you can watch the videos as many times as you want, uh, as quickly or as slowly as you want. So
Yeah, and I've done
it's a
that
great
before.
course. I highly recommend it. I've got nothing but great reviews on it, except for the fact that it's it's too cheap.
Yeah,
So um,
I'll be watching it and I'll put it next to my stove so I can watch it and then pause and then watch it and pause so that I can do it the same as you're doing it.
are you still with me, Clint?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Hello?
Huh.
All right. Let's see. There we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. All right. So the next thing I'd like to talk about is what your favorite part of the online classes. I know there's a lot of things that you talk about. So what is your favorite part about it?
My favorite part. I would have to say lesson. Let me see, lesson five. It's called "The Only Cooking Class You'll Ever Need." And I basically take a recipe, break it down step by step, and I explain why each step is in the order that it's in and why it's important and the benefit of doing that step. Uh, and it's basically, if I'm not mistaken, I'm taking a winter squash, uh, which then gets turned into like this curry type of dish. Um, but the reason why I like it so much is because as I'm explaining it, I give people all these different ideas of how to take that one recipe, which then can turn into so many different things. And you don't have to do a whole brand new recipe. You just do a little tweaks here and there, and suddenly this recipe can be a soup, a dressing, a ragu, a patties, all sorts of different things that out of the same starting point. So it gives me a chance to give people ideas of how to do many things without having to learn, so much information. You just take the same information and you either turn it this way or that
Tweak
way,
a little bit.
tweak it a little bit, and it just, it's a great way for people to have multiple tools at their disposal with just one recipe. So.
So, what would you say is your favorite plant-based recipe?
Um, Honestly, for me, it's whatever I haven't had in a while. You can't, or at least I can't. I can't eat the same thing, over and over and over again.
You
No
get burned
matter.
out of the same thing. Yep.
Yeah. So I think one of the biggest things on a plant-based diet is to keep things interesting, to keep things new, fresh, different. So variety is a big thing for me. So as much as I love let's see. As much as I love like a good lasagna from my first book, or that wild rice and spinach from my second book, I need to rotate the menu. I got to eat something different every day.
Right.
That's not the same for everybody. My boss, for example, I could feed him broccoli and brown rice every day. He'd be happy. He would not complain at all. But I can't do that. I need variety.
We're almost done here. Do you want to talk a little bit about your books?
Oh, sure. So in the course, I mention, like I'll say, this is recipe so and so, page so and so from either the Bravo cookbook, which is the first book I wrote. This guy here is about 10 years old. Or I'll say something like, oh, and this recipe came from the Bravo Express. This guy's about 2 years old. And so both of them are, again, SOS free recipe books. There are about 100 recipes in each of these. You can find them on Amazon. And there are different recipes all together on the books. And what can I say about them? The main difference, I would say, the reason why I named this guy the Bravo Express is for those of you who need quick and simple recipes. So most of the recipes that are in there are 5 ingredients, 3 steps. It's like bam, bam, bam kind of thing. There are many recipes like that in the Bravo cookbook, but some of the recipes in there are the 2-day preparation, like the oatmeal French toast or the lasagna or the lentil loaf kind of thing. So there are half of the recipes that are a little bit more elaborate. So if you want something that it's like bam, 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 get it done kind of thing, not a lot of fuss, not a lot of ingredients, the Bravo Express is the way to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing you sent out an email, I don't know, about a month ago and said, "Hey, is there anything out there that you still would like to see or a recipe?" And I think I don't know if I put that in there or not, but I have the hardest time not craving cookies.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah. I got your email. Yeah, yeah.
no sugar, no salt, no oil. That takes about 99% of the cookies off the table, right? So
Well, I'll tell you what. I have something, and we'll put it up on the thing right now. On the dessert section of the first book is this guy right here, the fig and pecan bars.
okay,
So if you've ever had a fig Newton
yeah,
in your life before, this is like way better. But yet it's no sugar, no oil, no salt.
awesome. Well, I'll have to get that one out and give it a shot.
Yeah, yeah. I'm happy to send it to you, and then you can give them a try. And there are at the bottom there are variations of it, so you can make different flavors as well.
Okay, well, that's awesome. Well, that is all I had today. Is there anything else that you wanted to add to our conversation?
Um, just be safe, everybody. Be safe. Stay healthy. We're going through some just rough times. Try to stay as relaxed and sane as possible. I know that a lot of people out there are stuck at home, sort of shelter in place. My mom told me that she's going crazy with the grandkids at the house. They're not going anywhere. Just hang in
Well,
there, everybody. We're gonna get through this. We're gonna be that much better, that much wiser. So
Well, I was just thinking about that today as I was going through all the stuff that we're doing at work as well. And I just thought, a lot of people have time right now at home. And so I've been, reading and listening to people, and they're like, you need to be more productive. Just don't sit and watch videos. Try and learn something, or read something, or do something. And I thought, what a perfect thing to do right now when you're stuck at home. You
right,
have to be there. Why not go through and learn something? Why not try something new and maybe get better at something? Now you're turning this free time into a way to learn something new. So I
correct.
just thought, man, I've got to get a video done really quick because it could help people learn how to cook better in their own home now that they have the time and they can spend extra time just learning to cook.
Yeah, yeah. So, and like I said before, it's a very affordable course. If you'd like some free sample videos, you can look me up on Facebook. Uh, um, do a search for Ramses Bravo. My name is right here, Ramses Bravo. My Facebook thing is like this part of the Bravo Express, so you'll know that it's me. I've been posting some videos, sample videos from the course, and I've also been doing some Facebook lives. I did one today, simple potato recipes. Last week I did a simple lentil recipes. So if you look me up, send me a friend request, and then you can see, just free material that I'm putting out for everybody. And I'm this week and last week I did them with the assumption that people are stuck at home, and they don't have a whole lot of ingredients,
Yep.
and so that's the way I've been approaching it. So
And I'll also put down in the description of the video, I'll put a link to all of these places. I'll put a link to his Facebook page. I'll put a link to his regular website. So if you want to get to it and check it out, I'll have links there. So I just wanted to thank you so much for coming online with me and talking with me. And hopefully, as you produce more videos, I will consume them and
all right.
learn and grow and become a better cook. So I appreciate you coming online with me.
Oh, thanks, Clint. I appreciate it, and hopefully we can I can be part of your Idaho Veg Fest. You know.
Yeah, well, it's kind of up in the air right now. I've wanted to do it in January, but now everything's kind of on hold
Yeah, I
because
know.
I don't know, or we're going to be able to have groups of people gather. I just don't know yet. So I've kind of put it on hold till we know what's going to happen. I still would love to do it in January, and if you could be a part of that, that would be great.
Yeah, I'd love to.
So
And
we'll see
maybe
if it actually happens or not.
yeah, if it's not in January, later down the line, or maybe a year later, I'd be fine with that.
Okay. All
Okay.
right, very good. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you next time on Dumb Old Dad.